I know this stuff is heavy, and it would be easy for someone just to placate as like, oh, he's dealing with shortness of breath because he's going through a lot of things that are mentally confounding or whatever. But it's more than that. It's hard for me to catch my breath with all of this stuff, and with what has been put in my body is what my main concern is. It's not just this stuff that not only helps trigger it, I'm sure, but it's the arsenic abuse. But I'm going to have this reread the footage it found from the compiled research of 41 sources as to, like, was there any other involvement besides Danny Heinrich, because I totally believe that Danny Heinrich was not a lone wolf in the crimes that he had committed against humanity, trying to kidnap me and being the killer and kidnapper of Jacob Wedderling. So this is what it compiled.
I'll investigate whether the demolition of Danny Heinrichs' home may have been tied to concerns over evidence suppression, as well as explore whether there is any credible reporting or testimony suggesting he was not acting alone in Jacob Wedderling's abduction and related crimes. I'll dig into police records, news archives, and survivor commentary for possible links to broader involvement. I'll let you know once I've gathered what I find. Demolition of Danny Heinrichs' home and evidence. Local news footage from December 2016 shows crews demolishing the small Annandale house where Danny Heinrich once lived. By that time, authorities had already searched the home in 2015 and seized the child pornography and other evidence that ultimately led to Heinrich's conviction. The vacant, foreclosed property was sold to real estate developer Tim Thone for about $57,000 after community petitions urged its removal as a distressing landmark. Thone arranged and paid for the demolition with no plans to redevelop the lot. In all of the press reports we found, the focus is on healing the community and honoring the Wedderling family. No reporter or official suggested that the demolition was timed to hide evidence. On the contrary, journalists noted that investigators had found the break they needed from the 2015 search before the house came down. We located no law enforcement statement or credible news story questioning the timing of the demolition or implying any evidence was destroyed in the process. Investigation review and allegations of other involvement. By contrast, when law enforcement revisited the Wedderling case years later, officials publicly acknowledged only investigative failures, not conspiracies. In a 2018 press conference, pictured, Stearns County Sheriff Don Gudmundsson bluntly took responsibility, stating that all of us failed in the original investigation. He described how key leads and suspect connections, such as a January 1990 tip, were missed or not pursued. Crucially, he did not allege any accomplices. Every official account emphasizes that Heinrich alone was responsible. In fact, Heinrich, already incarcerated on child porn charges, eventually signed a plea agreement in 2016 admitting he kidnapped and killed Jacob Wedderling, even leading police to the boy's remains.
Okay, so when there was that guy back in, what was it, 2000, must have been like 2015, 2014-ish, why was his information being censored online when he was saying exactly the color of the house, where it was, that it was Danny Heinrich who had Jacob Wedderling, and to get him out alive? Why wasn't there any involvement in police activity suggesting to themselves to be able to go and get this kid out alive? Why? That's my big question, because from my findings and my studies, that there is literally paid provocateurs, meaning to kidnap kids. They pay them money to kidnap kids. And that's why there's a whole lot of children missing. So I'm going to have it continue on, but it's really daunting to me that it suggests that there's no extra involvement this far anyway. This is my first time hearing it myself, getting through it.
no one else was charged. For example, one neighbor, Dan Rossier, had been wrongly treated as a suspect in 2010, but he was upended by the investigation and later cleared only after Heinrichs' confession. Both prosecutors and the media have since treated Heinrich as the lone culprit. Official statements note that Heinrich is a confessed murderer. And
so basically, a neighbor was investigated. Was he held against his will? Did his whole life go in upheaval because they needed to create the whole Darvo? You know, like denying accountability from the people that were saying and being censored to go get Jacob Wedderling out alive, to attack somebody else, to reverse victim and offender type of activity, kind of, where it's like blackmailing somebody else for somebody else's wrongdoing, in the same way that I feel has been happening to me with not only being able to not reason through a fucking thing for so long in my life, but the fact of the matter is that I even go into the doctors and I'm like telling them these things, and it's like they don't give you enough time to even suffice for like a little like weeks worth of 43 years of crime against me. But you know, they know their job, I guess.
No additional person of interest remains in the case. Investigative journalists have documented some unusual details, but again found no proof of a wider conspiracy. For instance, a CBS Minnesota report noted that Heinrich's family had ties to Dwayne Hart, a convicted child molester who had abused Heinrich and his brother, and, in 1990, even pointed police toward Heinrich as a suspect. The same report revealed that FBI agents later reopened a suspected arson case from 1989. A nearby house, Heinrichs...
Really? Why did it just cut off there? Oh, it said, sorry, something went wrong. So, where is this CBS case it was talking about? So it was going on to say that Dwayne Hart, a convicted child molester who had abused Heinrich and his brother in 1990, even pointed police towards Heinrich as suspect. The same report revealed that FBI agents later reopened up suspected arson case from 1989. A nearby house Heinrich sometimes visited was burned shortly after Jacob's abduction and was excavated by authorities before Heinrich was even questioned. Well, that's questionable, and it's even questionable coming from CBS News, mind you. These leads, Hart's admissions and arson debris, were pursued by investigators but did not produce charges against anyone else. We found no authoritative source claiming that any accomplices were found or intentionally protected. In sum, every connected source emphasizes bungled police work and Heinrich's solitary guilt, with no evidence and public record of other perpetrators or institutional cover-up beyond those law enforcement failures. From the Star Tribune and ABC3340.com. Sources: contemporary news accounts and investigative reports agree that Heinrich's house was sold and demolished as a community effort, not as a cover-up. That I can believe, but if there was more sources of evidence based on people even wanting the house demolished and suggesting as the community effort, in and of itself is questionable to me with what I've had to deal with based on not only Heinrich, but my dad and others, especially with this whole Jesse Lee situation, supposed to be my friend and whatnot. Obviously doesn't have a friendly bone in his body, but this goes on via plea deal, confessed to Jacob Wedderling's murder. Follow-up reviews, e.g. by the new Stearns County Sheriff and journalists, have cataloged many missed leads, but have found no credible evidence of any suppression beyond those investigatory missteps. All cited sources are connected above. Well, what are those missteps? Is what I want to know. So what are those missteps that you were able to find that suggest to others wanting to know more information basically regarding the death and disappearance and kidnapping of Jacob Wedderling? Oh, I finally got a breath again. I'm fighting, you guys. I'm fighting so hard. And it's not just emotional, it's very physical with what I'm saying it is. I know what it is. It's an arsenic abuse, and it's been a long-standing arsenic abuse in my life, along with whatever else, but I know arsenic was definitely included. Arsenic trioxide, or arsenic in general, rat poisoning. I mean, you name it. It's just, it doesn't matter what it is that these people used. It's just, the fact of the matter is it covertly scrubbed me out of my brains in a way that I wouldn't have been able to see, to be able to run the information through my head correctly all of my life, leading up to the most recent scarcity. I mean, good God. I loved you too, Aurelia. I loved you too, Jesse. You're so great. I mean, you're the best friends anybody could have ever have had. I mean, just the best. Nobody could have asked for any better of friends than you two. Nobody. So that's out. I'm guessing that it has to go through sources again. Oh, I had it muted. I don't know, I just muted it. So what are those other sources that these people were questioning about the disappearance and the kidnapping of Jacob Wedderling? I personally believe that there's more ties because of what's happened in my own life. Are you listening to me, ChatGPT? I mean, listening, but are you hearing me, ChatGPT? It's not right now. I have to write it in. What are those suppressed evidences? Mentioned by other parties. I'd say both. It just asked me the question. Both. Anything that could help me in the case of my whole entire reality being scrubbed away. Almost in complete fashions. By many areas of my life. and multiple people who tried to, in what I believe, murder me due to what I know. So yeah, it has to investigate it, and I'll come back and make another video. I'm not gonna waste people's time or my space on my phone. Thanks for being here. If you have anything to support me within this way, because I'm like upheaval, probably in the most detriment that I believe like anybody is in for like miles and miles and miles, not only like distance wise but through time, like a lot of time, like a lot of time. Kind of like feels like a covert operation that they just all need to kill me. And I've been pretty killed anyway. If you really think about an arsenic abuse to that level, like, I'm pretty fucking killed. And the scariest thing is, like, sure, I'm lucky enough to have some things that I can try and do to extract metals from my body in these detox baths. But again, I'm alone. I don't have anyone's support because I didn't want anybody to love me. I have very few people, but I mean, like, I don't have, like, a stable partner to, like, suggest, Matthew, I love you, and I'm not going to be like these other people are, and, like, no matter how big of a bag that money is, I believe that you're worth more than that money is. I don't know. So that's how I would be about my wife, or my friend, or my people, you know. Their lives mattered more to me than, and even the perpetrators of the crime against me. Seriously, I've made multiple prayer ministries regarding them to make it to heaven. Oh God, I'm having struggles, man. I don't want to cry because then I'll pant and I'll be like a big baby, and I'm not a big baby, but this stuff definitely makes you kind of like a big baby. Just to say in the least ways. I'm trying to laugh it off, but I'm in so much like weird pain right now that I don't know, maybe I don't know what I need to do. I don't know where I'm safe, put it that way. Do I go drive my car? Do I call an ambulance that's seeming to be like, oh, where do you want anxiety when you go in? Pfft, anxiety alone, is that what you're suggesting? Mental health pills? Oh my good lord. Oh fuck. Sorry to waste your time.